For 20 years, I waited for exactly this moment. To be able to sit here, with my backpack, with my cameras, and just living life to the fullest, without limitation. But before I could do that, I went in my all-time low. Did the Ironman, military service, edited a documentary, isolated myself in a cottage without seeing any human for 30 days. And it costed me everything. I have to go back to this story because this channel is never about views. It's never about money. I want to document my life in a truest way when I'm trying to live life to the fullest. And I have done it for exactly every single important story of my first 20 years on my Swedish channel. But now, when I start over again, I have to fill the gaps. And for you, that maybe you're 17, feel that you're stuck, that you have more to give to this life, that you're not living life to the fullest. I know exactly how you feel, because I felt that too. And in this story, I'm gonna take you for everything that happens before I went out to Bali, before I start my new chapture, and before I left everything behind. So let's get started. When this little boy existed, he lived in Singapore. The 1-year-old version of me. He was really curious about life, of everything that was around him. And eventually, he got home to Sweden. He was a really playful guy. And even when he got older, he always organized different activities. Paddle tournaments, football tournaments, always on the go. But there was one thought that really haunted him. One day, this beautiful life will end. That thought scared him. Because he loved life, he really loved life. But in the same time, he realized that he couldn't control death. But he could control what he spent time, energy, effort in this life. So he decided that he wanted to do the most of the life and do something meaningful. So once he get old, lying in his deathbed, he can look back at his life, his movie, and truly say to himself that he had lived life to the fullest. He had maxed out life, or what we say in Sweden,
att jag maxat livet.
And he promised himself every day would live after that philosophy. I understood that max out life, live life to the fullest, maxa livet, was not only about experiencing as much as possible. It was also to have the freedom to really be able to do a bigger impact, to be able to have the unique experience, to have the quality of time. So the younger me was 17 when he decided that he wanted to be a millionaire, at least a Swedish millionaire. And this vision, it included Bali, to be able to go there as a millionaire when he was 20. But it has never been about money, but money could buy the freedom. Let's start recording. But before I even could start, the worst thing that happened in my life happened. Everything changed. And even though I felt behind, that I just wanted to start, I know what I have to prioritize. And I did it. And in some way, tried to squeeze in a new business, a super intense goal with hitting 500 in total to deadlift, squats, bench press. I woke up early in the morning, come home late. But in the same time, I felt so strong. I felt alive because I did everything I could. I was really living the life to the fullest with everything I could control. But in the spring of 2023, After almost 5-6 months of where it isolated me from friends, I got injured. Had no time for creating any business, making money. I gave away everything that about my passion, and that combined with isolation, I felt hopeless. I have been grinding for so long, sacrificed so much, without any progress. I was in the same place, at least on paper, as I was 1.5 years ago when I started this goal. I had no more money. I worked at McDonald's. I had no energy and I just felt stupid, and I didn't see a way out from that place. There's so many times before that I had plans and I haven't followed them up. I didn't believe in myself, and most importantly, I forgot my bigger purpose, to live life to the fullest. But in the end, I looked at people around me. If I'm not changing, the circumstances, other people will not change either. And would I really just let this opportunity down that someone up there or someone else have given me to live on this earth? Just to be a zombie, going in this world, doing the same thing over and over again, not feeling fulfilled inside. If I didn't change, nothing else would change. It was in my control. I had to change it. It's my body, my brain, my decisions. So I started to go 20 minutes to the gym. Then I decided to do a real challenge. The day before Christmas, 2023, I woke up 3:45 without any training. I had never done more than 10K before. Did a marathon. And I called my friend. You know what, I did a marathon before you wake up. And small things like that helped me to get back, at least in a physical level. Still felt a little bit hopeless inside. But there was one thing that I know would give me alive again. And that was to go on a solo trip out in the world. Because that was my future life. So I reported me sick from school. Took a one-way ticket to Singapore, that country that I grew up in, but I hadn't visited in 15 years. And in the same time, in my cottage out in the Swedish wilderness, I decided, why should I chase money when there's so much more to life? Money is just a tool. What can I do? Something that actually gives me value, that I can do over time. I always see my life as a movie. So why not make that movie to real life? Why not document my life? So in the end of February 2024, I had my backpack, I had my camera, and I actually lived a trailer of my future life.
Gör något mer.
And that single journey, to come back to my old home, to just be free, gave me that spark that I needed, bring the hope back to my life.
Alright. Yes, it's gonna be alright.
And combine that with coming home and creating my first videos. I didn't care about views. I just wanted to recreate the same feeling that I felt during this special trip. And to be able to recreate that was one of the most fulfillment feeling I could feel. I had so much doubt. I knew that I had to do something tough. that is so extreme. Something that isn't about making money. Just pure determination, discipline. And then I saw the 16th of August 2025, a full Ironman in Kalmar, Sweden, on my 20th birthday. The same day I was supposed to be a millionaire. The end of the first chapter of my life. It was a sign from the universe, because I knew that if I did an Ironman in the same year as I did a military service, show me once and for all that I'm capable of doing whatever I want.
Who's gonna carry the boats?
And I can just say that this year was something totally different.
Alla bottnar. Alla toppar. Ett steg till. Ett steg till. Jag visste, om jag fortsätter pusha nu, då kommer jag svimma innan jag går in i ett enda ögonblick.
Jag är fucking Ironman! Gå inte på mig till 20 år. Gå inte på mig till 20 år.
The most intense, meaningful year where I sacrificed everything. But more of that story have to come in a separate video. I literally did a 2 hours documentaries to tell the story in Swedish. So there are much I can tell on this channel too. And it was the perfect end of the capture, especially when I won a week after that was on my cottage on the most maxed out party. I had this crazy speech.
Du maxar livet! Jag ser dina videos! Och jag bara, det här är momentet jag äntligen kan känna mig som kändis.
And the energy was just perfect.
Jag älskar Agnes! Ironman! Och där, han är här! Han byter med mig!
It's moments like this that really make me feel alive. To sharing the wins with friends, family. But this was not the end. Stop recording!
Men hur ser det egentligen ut när en helt vanlig kille, jag vet inte vad jag håller på med, ska koka ner 20 år av sitt liv i en enda dokumentär?
Det här var det mest meningsfulla arbetet jag gjort i mitt liv. I really wanted to recreate this story, not only for me, for the people who could relate to the story. Because this was something special. This documentary would represent my whole childhood in one video. Almost 10 hours of videos. More than 1 terabyte in total. One man, without professional experience. And this documentary would take over everything.
Repeat.
Had almost no rest. I've been up here for so long. And I was so ready mentally to just go out with a flight to Bali. But it had to be done. I texted my friends. I will isolate myself now. And I begin. And honestly, man, it was the most meaningful project I've ever done. But it will soon change. 3 weeks turned into a month. After a while, I have no routine. My body was honestly broken. I haven't recovered it properly after the Ironman. Just sitting in front of the computer, the worst thing you can do maybe. I wasn't socializing with anybody. I just wanted to go inside my computer and edit. It basically took my life.
Jag vet inte vad jag håller på med.
There was nothing I looked more forward to than just and do the thing that I actually waited for my whole life. My whole life I waited for the plane ticket. It was a weird dopamine loop. I was never in the present moment. The stakes was too high. I just wanted to complete it. My friend was waiting. And I know I was saying to myself, just 1 week. 1 week went to 2 weeks, 3 weeks. We were going the 15th of October. And I couldn't let my friend wait. So I have to sacrifice my time for family and it all ended the same night I was supposed to go.
Just nu står jag här, mitt ute i skogen. Jag har mycket kroppdokumentärer jag kommer behöva redigera på en natt. Jag är helt jävla slut. Men jag vet att jag gjort precis allt. För att skapa min livsdokumentär. Och det är det som räknas i den här världen.
I wasn't completed with documentary. I was up packing my things 4 a.m. to be able to leave the rest of the work to an editor in Sweden. But somehow I ended up on that plane. First to Istanbul, then to Mumbai,
So different from our country.
and then to Bangkok.
Vietnam.
And it was up in the skies in my head. I was so excited, so tired. I was in a really special state. But the trip that I waited for my whole life. Felt nothing. I fight so hard to come to this moment, to be able to go out. This was the bridge to going to Bali. This was my new chapture. And honestly, I felt disconnected. I felt like I only could live in my own head, not in the present moment. When I was in the moment, I couldn't connect with other people because I wasn't in the present moment with myself. And I knew it, and I hated it. It was nothing that I hated more. I felt I wasted my life. Everything felt meaningless again. I was living my dream, but I felt the opposite. Eventually, after 1 month in Vietnam, I went traveling with myself. And I was actually feeling really good. Just traveling a little bit, then I would go to Bali. I was finishing a video in Laos. Exactly when I was supposed to just travel. And once and for all, be free from everything that was connected with my first capture. My editor called me. He said he couldn't edit the videos, the documentary. I have to do it again. That was the worst thing that could happen. It was like someone punching my face.
Skulle färdigställa dokumentären. Skulle vara in i Syrien 26! Och flygen ska stoppas! Nu kör vi, Felix.
Went to Koh Tao. I had a really special time. 10 days. Didn't talk to anybody, just went out to different cafes. Lived my first part of the digital nomad life. Did a crazy project with documentary. The most meaningful project I've done.
Jag börjar gråtas. Det är helt sjukt. Det är så mycket blandade känslor.
And I know that this was the last push to my old capture. At least I thought it was my last push. It has been almost 3-4 months since the Ironman. 21st December 2025, 5 a.m. in the night. After a whole 24 hours of editing, I could completely say that I had a final documentary. I had now my life documentary in the highest quality possible. I recreated Maybe my most meaningful story of my life.
Men jag vägrade ge upp! Jag vägrade ge upp! Yes!
I framtiden när jag ska visa mina barn, okej, det här är pappa gjort. Då har jag 2 timmars dokumentär.
And that feeling was the most fulfilling feeling ever. I went out with a scooter the next morning, enjoying my freedom.
Freedom! Freedom!
Just doing whatever I want, and I had the most maxed out day. I was so fulfilled. But in the same time, it felt weird to end this capture here, alone in an island, and just go to Bali now. No. I have still things to finish. I still have stories to tell before I really can go out. And especially, I wanted to show my friends the documentary. Because the main reason why I did the documentary was to show my friends and have it as a memory for myself. I didn't do it for views. It was never about views. And I got a crazy idea.
Fuck! Vad är det här för jävla sjuk U-turn jag gör?
What if I just surprised my family on Christmas Eve with a Santa Claus dress? So I just look at the prices of tickets. And it was a direct flight from Bangkok to Sweden. $150 US. And the flight was going home 5 minutes before Christmas Eve. Exactly as I saw the sign of making the Ironman on my 20th birthday. This was a sign for me to go home and end my capture. Nobody knew that I was going home. Oh, finns det några snälla barn här?
Utan allt! Och det är det som räknas i den här världen.
But before I could really go out to Bali, I had to make sure that everything was finished. Everything that I owned was sold. And I had this goal was really recreating all the meaningful stories in my life. And I wanted to complete the final story of my first capture. It took me 2 months and I just wanted to go to Bali, but I know this was needed to do. Then eventually I was going out to my summer house, a place where I spent so much time alone. I had make all my biggest decision, my favorite place. Just going for a run in the morning on the ice on the Swedish lake and then just editing videos. It was supposed to be 4 days, 5 days, but I just kept adding videos. And in the end, I spent 1 month isolated in a cottage in the Swedish forest without seeing any human. 6 months after the Ironman itself, I was there with a beard longer than I ever have seen before, just making videos that I knew would get no views, just for personal sake. I didn't even have enough food, so some days I ate just a hot dog and some pasta for the whole day. It was the worst thing for my body, but the best thing to complete this capture. Because I know the day will come to go out to Bali. I know that I'm a psycho sometimes, but it's how I want to live my life.
Kolla på det här! What the fuck?
Oh my god, oh my freaking god. We are here in my camp house and I have been here for 1 month and just edit 12 hours minimum a day. I haven't even consumed any social media. Just edit, run, edit. And now I'm officially done. I'm officially done with the first chapter of my life. Documented everything and I have an 18 hours, 42 minutes and 44 second video of every key moment and story in my life. And wow, I can't say, I'm a free man. I have worked so long for this, almost 4 years, and now I'm here and just packing my computer, and for me, the real life starts now. It's time to max out life, live life to the fullest, and I can't wait. Let's go.
I could really do a separate story about the time in a cottage, because it was one of the most special time. I was super hyped, and I mean super hyped.
På ordet you are an Ironman. Efter allting, efter inte vila på 4 år.
The isolation, just being with yourself without any distractions, is something that I really recommend you and everyone to do, at least for some days. But I really don't recommend to do it 1 month. Especially when you have spent so much time with yourself before. But we had completed it. We have sold everything, and now we have our backpack with mostly camera gears, and we were ready to live our life on the go. And the feeling was really strange. This was the moment. This was the exactly moment I waited for my whole life. And I felt calm because I have nothing that I really needed to do. A weird feeling. I was literally leaving everything that I've created behind. The channel, every video, every hour, family, friends, everything that I've seen as home in 20 years. And now creating a new home from scratch. And I felt scared. I felt super scared. What if I didn't find anybody out in Bali? That the loneliness I've felt of all the isolation just continue. What if I'm not living in the present moment and feeling disconnected from the world?
Stop recording!